Hello, everybody. Introductions will happen in about 20 seconds after our intro splash video, but we are back for another episode of Tarot by Hilary live. So give me 20 seconds to show that, and I will be right back, and we will get into tonight's episode. Welcome once again to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. So on tonight's episode, we are talking about the do's and don'ts of festival readings. So this is kind of a book-ended episode because we did do an episode last year on the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs of party readings. And to my mind, while party readings and festival readings and event readings are very similar, they are not the same thing. And I do tend to tackle private events, public events, and festival readings in different ways. So we do have an episode on the ins and outs of party readings. I think that is more geared towards private party readings. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and check that out. And the replays either on the Book of Face or on the Tube of You. Replays are available for the last 4 years I've been doing this, 5 years in August. So we're not that far away from the 5-year anniversary of the Tarot by Hilary live stream. So, but tonight, because I am doing an event tomorrow, which is more considered a festival, and I've been prepping all day long with printing out new signage and sign-up forms, etc. I was just like, oh, well, maybe I should do tonight's episode discussing that sort of thing and how I prep for it, how I energetically prepare for it, before, during, and after. So if that sounds interesting to you guys, stay tuned. I see that Katie is here. Hello to Katie. And of course, we will have our regular fixtures of the episode, the astrology, the astro-weather from Teresa Reed's wonderful Astro Biz Digest for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The mid-episode reading in which one lucky person will be considered to win a free 3-card tarot reading with me live on the broadcast about midway through the episode. And then, of course, the weekend forecast, in which I pull tarot card or oracle card to get the forecast for the weekend so we can go into the weekend prepared and not scared. As a reminder, we do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, around about then. I was going to pre-schedule tonight's episode for 6:30, but I actually went to the gym. Oh my God, like, alert the presses. I went to the gym. And so by the time I came home from the gym, found parking, walked home, and looked at the time, I was just like, oh, not enough time to pre-schedule for 6:30. So I pre-scheduled for 6:40. So yeah, but it's around about those parts that we do this every Friday night, in which I teach on a different metaphysical or divination subject or magical subject, depending on what you guys want to hear. So yeah, if you participate in the mid-episode reading and you don't happen to win it, come back again next week. Come back. Try again. But we do this every Friday nights. And if you would like a private reading with me, tarotbyhilary.com. It's where I blog. It's where you can find all of my social media stuff all in one place. And then if you're wondering, do you have a book, Hilary? Yes, I do. How to Read Tarot from Flame Tree Publishing, published in 2022. So I do all of the things. Anyway, tonight's episode is on festival readings because I am doing readings at a festival or outside of a festival. I don't know if I know where, how do I put this? I know we're not in the festival, but we're outside of the festival, but we are affiliated with the festival, but we're not quite a part of the festival. Yeah. So so that is the Sleepy Hollow Music Festival that is happening tomorrow, June 8th. And for more information, I think you can go to sleepyhollowmusicfestival.com. So I will be located on Edge-on-Hudson on the Riverwalk toward the lighthouse in Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown. And I believe the closest entrance to the music festival from there is the southern entrance. So if you're wondering where the hell I am, I can point it out on a map, but I'm also not sure about that myself because I'm not there yet. So I will be able to give more specific instructions once I have set up my table. But I would hope to see you all tomorrow. And I am doing readings, I believe 15 minutes, $25 for a 15-minute reading, which is probably the lowest price that I offer for in-person readings because it's a festival. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about for this particular topic of festival readings is don't expect to book yourself at a festival and think that you're going to be charging your one-on-one in-person rates for like a half an hour or an hour-long reading, because that is just not what a festival reading is about. Like it's short, it's sweet, it's typically priced a little bit less expensive because it's the nature of the festival reading. And especially if you're doing a festival like a psychic fair or like a metaphysical fair or a new age festival, you know, you might be competing with other tarot readers. Now, I don't like to say the word competition because I think honestly for tarot reading there's enough work out there for everyone. There's enough clients out there and we all do our own things, and we are good at our different topics or our specialties. So I like to think of it more as cooperation rather than competition. But it is true that you do need to make sure that you're pricing yourself accordingly at a festival. Otherwise, you either might price yourself too low and then get the timber of readings that you probably don't want, or you might price yourself too high and then price yourself out. And so, like, either way, you may not have a lot of people coming to your booth or your table or your tent because you've either priced yourself too low or priced yourself too high. Now, pricing your readings, that's like a completely different topic for a completely separate episode, in which I think I might have done pricing. I probably have discussed it, maybe not in a specific episode. I know I definitely have given advice about it for Card Slingers Coast to Coast, the podcast that I do with Melissa and Jamie. But that's another thing to think of when you're doing festival readings. It's just like, are you going to be the only reader? If so, cool. You might have a little bit more leeway on what to charge. If you aren't the only reader, maybe look around or ask around and be like, if you were getting a reading at a festival, what would you pay for it? So all things that we're going to discuss in tonight's episode. And also a reminder to stay tuned to be considered for a live tarot reading. That's the mid-episode reading in which one lucky viewer will win a free 3-card reading with me. So we've got a topic for tonight. I think I have told you all of the different tenets of the episode. So if we are ready for the astrology from the wonderful AstroBiz Digest, give me a hell yeah in the chat and let me know. I will be on the lookout for people that are not me soliciting readings into the chat, and I will try and block them accordingly. And I do thank people for reaching out and asking how to become a moderator for this live stream. I really appreciate it. I think I can handle it for right now. I'm trying to look at my different settings because while I appreciate the enthusiasm, um, I just can't figure out how to do it right now. And I'm embarking on, the festival readings tomorrow. So if and when I figure it out, I will definitely reach out to you if you have shown an interest in modding for the live stream at any point in time. So Katie is saying, yes, stars away, which I take to mean, yes, let's talk about the astro-weather from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. So keep in mind that this is coming from her wonderful AstroBiz Digest. It is $99 for astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. I have it is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners, but I have found it to be incredibly helpful in planning my personal life as well. And if you're looking to get a copy of it for yourself, thetarotlady.com/AstroBiz Digest. The link is in the chat, but don't go away because then you'll miss out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just saying. All right, let me pull this up on my phone. And funnily enough, so I've been charging up all of the things for the festival tomorrow, and I've been charging like everything. We will get to we will get to all of the things that I've been doing today to basically tell you how I prepare for festival readings. But one of the things, like charging all of the things, like as in your tools, like if you have a Square reader, or if you have like some kind or PayPal reader, and it is battery, like you need to charge it to have battery life to be able to use it. Make sure your stuff is charged up. And also I would recommend getting like a power pack or a power bank to take with you to the festival. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. I will bring this up again when we get into the meat of the episode tonight. So I was like charging all the things as I was printing out the signage, as I was doing this, as I was doing that. And then I had it in my head, I need to go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. Like I have been paying for my gym membership for nigh on, I don't know, 5 years. I think I started paying for the gym membership like pre-COVID, and then I went like in February of 2020, and then I didn't go again because pandemic. So yeah, so sure. And that's exactly what gyms rely on. They rely on you paying for it and then not going. Like that's how they make their money. So I'm just like, no, I'm gonna go. Like Cameron and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I'll go. And I was definitely Cameroning earlier. Mr. Tarot by Hilary was just like, you asked me for help. You asked me to make you go. And I'm just like, I know, but I really don't want to. Anyway, so I was so busy charging everything up. And then I made sure to like put on my sports bra, put on my leggings. This top is not what I wore to the gym, I promise you. And I headed out with my beautiful headphones. Guess what I didn't charge? My headphones. So about 20 minutes into my 30-minute workout, they crapped out. So I was just like, So that's part of the reason why I'm doing the live stream about 10 minutes later, because as soon as I got home, I plugged in my headphones to make sure they were ready for you guys. Even though I don't play a lot of music, Even though I don't quite need them for the live stream, better to be safe than sorry. Anyway, that is a huge aside there, but make sure you're charging up your shit and have a power bank ready to go. So Dina says, hi, I will be doing readings at a local boutique for solstice, so this live is timely. Awesome. Awesome, Dina. I hope you get a lot of information out of it. I hope it helps you to formulate how to do readings at your festival that you're doing them for. Keep in mind that what works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. Sometimes the best lessons learned about doing festival readings is making mistakes as you go and realizing your capacity. Like I think I mentioned this, maybe the Party Readings Festival, maybe during Card Slingers, where I was sick as a dog and I had to do readings at a belting festival. And by the end of it, I had like no voice left, none. And I didn't get a good night's sleep the night before because I was snoring. And then Mr. Tarot by Hilary had come with me. And so he was in the bed next to me at the bed and breakfast that we stayed in. And he kept on elbowing me in the ribs because I kept on snoring because I was sick. I couldn't breathe. So I wanted to murder him. I was not a happy camper. And I was just like, I yelled. I don't think I've ever been so mad. I was just like, I needed my sleep last night. Like there was nothing I could do to help that. I'm sorry I snore, but it's just like, but I usually don't. But it's like, I needed the sleep last night because I was doing these festival readings the next day. Like, So that's another tip, making sure that you're well rested and knowing your limits. But sometimes you don't know your limits until you hit them. So that's another piece of advice for festival readings. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So Fran is here. Hello to Fran. And that reminds me to charge my headphones. Yeah, charge your headphones. And both Fran and Katie are saying good luck to you, Dina. And yeah, I hope you get a lot out of this episode, Dina. And if you have any questions that come up during the live stream, just go ahead and ask them in the chat. That way it will help direct me a little bit more so I can give you some specific information, specific answers. Because that's what it's all about, is being helpful, right? So anyway, astrology from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, Astro Biz Digest, $99 for a year-long subscription. Astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. I give the overall astrology from the Astro Biz Digest for the week, and then I get specific for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I don't want to give away the farm. If you're interested, if it sounds good, what I'm saying, get yourself a copy of your own of the Astro Biz Digest. Whew. Okay, good. Back on track. All right. So, all right. I'm going to pull that up on my phone, which also needs charging. Oh, look. A notification from the tube of you, now live on your channel. Yes, I know. Thank you. All right. So I did get a little bit of astrology from Teresa from her lives that she does on the gram of Insta, tarot tangents and transits. And apparently this weekend may be a little bit difficult working with the public. This is what I heard. I don't know the reason why. I'm sure it'll come up in the Astro Biz Digest. But I was just like, but I'm doing events tomorrow, Teresa. Like, what are you doing? She's like, it may be hard to navigate. You may be dealing with hard clients or people that test you or people that disagree with you because of the nature of your work. And I'm just like, skeptics, cool. Bible thumpers, possibly. I'm just trying to run down in my mind people that I've had conflict with in the past, just being me and doing my thing. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But again, this is the reason why we do tarot. This is the reason why we do divination and astrology. It's to be prepared. It's to work with the energy and not against the energy. But most of all, it's being prepared. So knowing that I'm going into a possibly astrologically difficult weekend, I can prepare a little bit better. Now, if I went into the festival not knowing that, I might have been really sideswiped. I might have been really blindsided. But knowing, you know, when you know better, you do better, right? So there you go. Anyway, so this week, June 3rd to the 9th, this week has a few major astro happenings. It happens to be good stuff, in Teresa's humble opinion. So first up, Mercury skips into Gemini on the 3rd, so that's already passed. Mercury loves being in the sign of the twins, so it's operating on all cylinders. This means quick thinking, sudden bursts of brilliant writing, snappy conversations, and fast-paced meetings. This is your best time to pitch the media, so hit them up. Also, Mercury in Gemini is pretty nifty for all things social media. Think clever memes, hot takes, and lively live streams. Get your words out there and your biz could see an uptick. This is only hanging around until the 17th of this month, June 17th, so be nimble if you want to max out this vibe. Next, the new moon in Gemini arrives in style on the 6th, so that was yesterday. This lunation is marvelous for launches, new writing projects, fresh social media campaigns, and newsletters. In other words, if you want to start something, it's a massive green light. Of course, new moons are also for setting intentions. Set yours around communication, learning, writing, and public speaking. And also recommendation, once again, for New Moon Astrology by Jan Spiller, because that is Teresa's favorite resource for intention setting by the moon, especially the new moon. Lastly, Mars will enter Taurus on the 9th, so this Sunday. Your cue to slow your pace. After being in Aries for weeks, this may feel like a speed bump or a welcome change. Probably a welcome change, I would say. I mean, I'm used to Mars in Aries because that's my natal Mars in Aries, but like, not everyone is used to that kind of energy. No matter how you feel about it, the chill approach will ensure you deliver your best work. Take it easy and move mindfully towards your goals. You will hit the mark if you keep it steady. That being said, Mars in Taurus can be lazy. If a bout of procrastination kicks in, you may have to fight it, or perhaps take a much-needed vacation. It's your choice. Mars in Taurus is also ambitious for cash. If you're craving more dough, stay the course. You could make serious bank before Mars enters Gemini on July 20th. So that's a lot of information, guys. So let's get to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the nitty gritty. So Friday, after a short void phase, the moon moves into Cancer at 8:41 a.m. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so this is a happy placement. It's domestic and caring, the perfect lunation for organizing your home office and nurturing your community. It will hold firm until Sunday afternoon, plenty of time for cleaning and caring. So today, Friday, June 7th, is a power day for Cancer and a weekday for Capricorn. Moving on to Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, Venus is locked in a square with Saturn all weekend. So this was what Teresa was saying on her live stream this morning. Venus is locked in a square with Saturn all weekend, which can bring mondo problems with public relations. Be careful with your words. They could come back to bite you in the ass. This is not the time to court controversy, no matter how tempting it may be. All right. Saturday's Moon-Saturn trine at 7:08 p.m. provides a power boost for completing projects. If you're working tonight, you can get a lot done. My plan is to catch up on my reading. That's Teresa's plan. Sunday finds Mars in Taurus, which amplifies determination for a few weeks. We already talked about that. So egomaniacs and wannabe dictators will stink up the airwaves all day once the sun squares Saturn at 6:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. The energy is deceptive and volatile. When you combine this with the Venus Saturn square, it's an incentive to stay off of social media. So I will be laying low from social media this weekend, besides, letting people know where I am at the festival. All right. All right. At 3:29 p.m., the moon enters Leo, which favors bold leadership, creative marketing, and heart-to-heart conversations. It holds court until Tuesday, so there's plenty of time until then to work with this noble vibe. However, today, Sunday, that lunation is wasted by a square with Mars at 4:24 p.m. and an opposition to Pluto at 6:50 p.m. Two aspects that elevate aggression, power plays, and egomania. Considering the other aspects at play, this weekend is better for rest, behind the scenes activity, and unplugging. Both days are power days for Cancer and weekdays for Capricorn. I'm not entirely happy about that because my rising sign, my ascendant, is Capricorn. So, okay. So I'd like to open up the floor to people that want the nitty gritty for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Was there anything hinky going on in your world? And if you want to know the astrological reason why, I will take a peek at the AstroBiz Digest and let you know. And it's been real quiet in the chat. Maybe because I scared all of you for the uh-huh. Fran says, I snapped on my sister yesterday. Okay, so yesterday was Thursday. New moon in Gemini. Sour vibe sets in with the moon square Saturn at 1:19 p.m. Take a time out and avoid social media. The public is not in the mood, and you might not be either. And then in the evening, the moon was in sextile with Chiron. So if you need to repair a relationship or a business faux pas, that is your chance. So probably moon square Saturn, depending on the timing of the snapping. That might have had something to do with it. And then also Chiron a little bit later on in the evening. Chiron is the wounded healer. So it could have been something that was going on for a long time, Fran, and you finally just couldn't hold your tongue any longer. So, it's not great, but it's also probably something that needed to be said. The way you said it probably wasn't ideal, but it probably had to be said. Oh, so last week, for those of you who were here last week for the unboxing of the Mystic Dreamer Tarot, which is our deck of the month for card of the day pulls for the month of June, how have you been liking the format that we've been doing? Because like I said on the broadcast, I wasn't sure if the combination that I listed for Sophia was correct, but it turned out to be correct, where I'm using Rider-Waite-Smith and the Mystic Dreamer as my modern deck, and Sophia is using the Dirty Pam, I believe, RWS, and the This Might Hurt Tarot for her modern deck. So that comparison and contrasting, are you guys digging it? We're on day 7. And I did take a break only on Tuesday for a Tarot Tuesday. So I didn't do that comparison because otherwise that was going to be 6 cards instead of 3 cards. But yeah, how are you guys enjoying that? Are you enjoying it? And Fran says, sounds right. Okay. Let me know if anybody wants me to take a further look at the AstroBiz Digest. If not, we will move on to talking about festival readings and recommendations, etc. And Dina, if you want to ask your questions, I mean, I might happen to answer them before you ask them, but just in case, I would like to be able to focus the episode on things that you might need, considering you're embarking on festival readings. So, and again, festival readings, what works for me for festival readings is based on personal experience and anecdotal information, where it's just like, this is probably like a general caveat where it's just like you want to be in good health when you're doing festival readings. This is true for any kind of reading. It's true for an in-person session or one-on-one session or even a Zoom or phone. You want to be in good health because if you're feeling sick when you do a reading, like, first of all, your energy is probably going to be off because you're going to probably be more focused on how you're feeling sick, than giving the energy that you normally have to a reading. And I pride myself at this point in my career, like, I pride myself on making sure that I am doing everything that I can to be in the most optimal shape possible to be able to deliver the most accurate and needed readings possible. That's part of the reason why I'm going back to the gym, and partially because I need to get into my body and move around, because there is intuition that comes with somatic practices like tapping, like moving your body, like getting exercise, like going for a walk or dancing. Like, like, if you're not in touch with your body, like, there's no grounding to be had. And you do need to make sure that you have grounding practices in place for your readings. This is something that Teresa and I talked about a long time ago, where she noticed that there's a lot of intuitives or empaths that tend to be overweight. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they do tend to not take care of themselves bodily. One, because they're taking on the weight of the world, quite literally, and other because, like, they're so busy being a spirit and an esoteric person that they're not getting into their body. It's almost like a disassociation from our bodies. And it's just like, that's not great. And remember, if don't take advice from someone if you don't want their life. So, like, if someone's touting this or saying, like, oh, I did, and it's just like, but you see them eating junk food and you see them not taking care of themselves or chain smoking or doing whatever, and living in a tiny place with tiny thoughts, and it's just like, and then you're taking advice from them. It's just like, but do you want that life? Don't take advice from anyone if you don't want their life. So, Fran says, I personally always worry about getting a reading at a festival with all the other energy around. Yeah. So thank you, Fran, for saying that. So you want your energy to be like, not only do you want to, I do want to talk about the physical aspects of festival readings, such as, like, printing out your signage, making sure you have a portable power bank, making sure people are able to pay you, whether or not, like, a lot of people don't carry around cash anymore, right? So you want to make sure that you're on the payment platforms that people are using. So it's just like, don't, like, make it easy for people to pay you for your work. I know it seems very simple, but like, are you doing it? Right? But then there is also that aspect that Fran's talking about energy. What other energy around? Like, how am I getting the reading that's for me when there's all of this energy floating around? And the answer is, having a reader that, practices good energy practices, good energy clearing, knowing to set up a bubble around themselves when they're doing readings. Now, I've talked about this I think when giving readings of any kind, like I have physical talismans that I put on to show to spirit and to show physically, I am about to work. I am about to give a reading. I am about to do this. And so you can always, like, sometimes I will put it on my wrist, depending on what I want to do. Sometimes I will put it on as a necklace, but this is my psychic mala. It was made for me by Jen Cintron. And this is my personal physical talisman to show I'm working, I'm ready, I'm receptive. Like it's basically hanging a sign saying I am ready for readings, and then taking it off at the end of the day to show, okay, I am done now. So there are physical ways to denote it, and you can also take your spiritual practices and integrate them into the physical as well. Like, this is a psychic mala. Like, it has been blessed under, I can't remember which moon she said she blessed it under, but it's not just a physical thing. This was also worked on energetically for the sole purpose of using it for readings, in getting in tune with with intuition, to be able to give readings to myself, to other people. But for festival readings, like, the energy level at a festival versus the energy levels at a private event or one-on-one. Like, one-on-one, you are just dealing with the other person. There's usually not another person in the room. So it's just like, it's kind of physically taking care of the energetic. But at a festival, you got to put up protections. So what I would say is, and this is probably what I'm going to be doing tomorrow in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how I'm going to do it until I get there, because I got a sense where I'm located, what my plot is, what my booth is, quote unquote. And then I will determine how I will put up my energetic force fields, so that I can carry on my work in such a way that I am diffusing the other energy from the festival and making basically this protective bubble around me and around the person that I'm reading for, and then around the space. Like, so there's like, it's almost bubbles upon bubbles. Like, I have my personal bubble, they're going to have their personal bubble, and then we're going to meet in the middle of another bubble. And that bubble will encompass their bubble and my bubble. And then when the reading is done, I will probably release that bubble. Now, there's also going to be another bubble surrounding my table, my lockbox, my chairs, and most likely the table next to me. Because I'm not just doing this on my own, I'm also going in there because I was contacted by a bar / restaurant. So I will probably include the protection around them and their space too, if they're open to it. Consent is sexy. So Fran, I know that wasn't necessarily a question that you asked, just a personal statement. But I feel like people can sense that, like, people might be attending this festival and not expecting to get a reading. And if they pass me on by, that's fine. Like, it's fine. I don't mind it, because there are people that are coming specifically to enjoy the music, or to enjoy shopping, or to do whatever. So, like, this is also the difference between private events, psychic fairs, and festivals. Festivals, you are going to be 1,000,001 things under the sun. And so you are competing with other people, but you're also not competing with other people, because you're offering something that more than likely other people are not going to be offering at the same festival. If it's a general festival or music festival or beer festival or what have you. So it's people's choice. They can sit down and get a reading from me or not. And I'm not going to be upset either way. Like, I was actually just talking to my mom about this earlier today, where it's just like, I'm not expecting anything. Like, I'm not going into this festival thinking that I'm going to make a lot of money. I mean, sure, I may, but a lot of the time, the intentions on public events and festivals, like, yes, I am going to be charging for my readings. Well, I do see a question. I do see a question in there about that. Um, but most of all, public events and festivals are there to get your name out there. They're more for publicity's sake than anything else. So it's not that I won't be charging for readings. I absolutely will. But, that's kind of not the point. So, um, so Dina is asking, how long are your festival readings and do you use a spread? Excellent question, Dina. So my festival readings are 15 minutes, $25 for a 15-minute reading. And do I use a spread? I will usually pull 3 to 5 cards, and I'll usually focus in on one question. And I would also recommend checking out Card Slingers Coast to Coast and our episode on event readings. Can't remember what it's called. You all know Card Slingers and are like 101 episodes better than we do, which is kind of scary and kind of nice at the same time. But like, go back into the archives for Card Slingers Coast to Coast, and we do talk about parties and festivals and corporate events and that kind of thing. So Melissa's way in is a name. She needs the name. So remembering how long? 15 minutes for me. It's 15 minutes, $25, and 3 to 5 cards for each question. And I like to get the name and a specific question because we don't have a lot of time. Fran is asking, is that how you prevent yourself from being drained after? Abso-freaking-lutely, Fran. Absolutely. Those bubbles, yeah, absolutely. Will I still be drained afterwards? Hard to say. Most likely, yes, because I don't do a lot of festival readings. It's just, I can do them, obviously. Like, I could have said no. I could have said no to this event, but I felt strongly that saying yes was the right call. And also, like, I don't know. There's just been something's been calling me to do festival readings, to do events, to do possibly like beer festivals. Like the other week I went to a beer festival, but I didn't go for the whole day because I was working at my retail job. But I was able to meet my husband and our friends at this festival. And there was one person there that was selling sprays and roller balls. And I just knew, like, I just felt the energy from across the field. And we ended up buying okay. Mr. Tarot by Hilary ended up buying a lot of stuff from her. But you could feel the authenticity. And, as we were walking away from her booth, I was just like, should I do an event like this? Like, should I? And Mr. Tarot by Hilary, as always, very supportive, was just like, yeah. And I'm just like, well, but like there's usually some drinking going on, obviously, especially considering the nature of a festival, but there are also people that are like, oh, okay, no, that's really cool, or that's this. So it's just like you gotta figure out the vibe. Anyway, is that how you prevent yourself from being drained after? Yes. But also, I never know if a party or a festival is going to drain me or energize me. Never know until the day of. So I'll get back to you tomorrow evening and say drained or not drained. Yeah. So I didn't even think of it. Like, these are great questions. Thank you guys for asking good questions, because I didn't even think of that portion of it, because so much of it is second nature at this point that I like having the question so that I can backpedal and be like, oh, okay, like, but I do this. And what's the reason why I do this? Oh yeah, this. And like when I had someone asking me about reversals and shuffling and how do I shuffle in reversals when I do an overhand shuffle, I'm just like, and then I had to go back to the muscle memory in order to determine like, oh yeah, and then this and this and this and this is how I do it. So it's actually funnily enough, my shuffling overhand video on the tube of you, that's the one that most people have viewed. And it's like maybe a minute and a half, and it's the most viewed video that I have on my tube of view. So maybe that's also a lesson for me that I shouldn't be like doing these 2 or 3 hour sessions, because as fun as they are doing the live stream, it's not necessarily what's going to get me the viewership. Not that I don't love your viewership, folks. I love having the regulars, but it's just like, how do we get more eyeballs on this thing, right? So some of the more rudimentary practical aspects of doing festivals are the things that I was doing earlier today. I was printing out, so talking about what do you charge, right? How long are your festival readings? Do you use a spread? How does that go about, etc. And how do you organize it? Now, from personal experience, I have noticed that if I have a sign up sheet with the 15-minute intervals, people will usually self sort, which is really nice. Now, I have not used a sign up sheet in a very long time for a festival. I did do it for, what was it, for Decadent Ales, for their night market and for their holiday market. And I thought that worked very well, but that was a more confined space. It was just at their brewery. While festival readings, it's going to be outdoors with all of the physical possible obstacles that go along with it. Like, please let it not rain tomorrow. Please let it not rain tomorrow, or else I am absolutely screwed because I do not have a tent. I will have my folding table, my wooden folding table, and my 2 chairs, and that's it. So please, 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 gods, don't rain me out. Otherwise, it's going to be very sad. Do I need to invest in a tent? Depends. If I do more of these festivals, absolutely, I do need to invest in a tent. But I don't do them enough currently to warrant the purchase of a tent. Anyway, going back to the physical stuff. So sign-in sheet in the increments. So whatever increments you're going to do, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about as well. Like how long your readings are going to be. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes. I have stumbled across 15 minutes as a good length of time for festival readings, because while 5 minutes can be very powerful in a private party setting, like specifically at like Halloween parties, that time increment usually depends upon the estimated head count for the private event. So that's something that I do know. For festival readings, it's a crapshoot. I don't know how many people are going to be at the festival, and I don't know how many people are going to be stopping at my booth to get a reading. So hence why 15 minutes and that sign up sheet is going to work out better for me. Yes, that's true. That's true, Fran. And I do appreciate the enabling. You could also use a tent for a cookout or barbecue. Thank you. I appreciate the enabling. Let's see what else. So make it easy for people to pay you. I railed against a couple of different options for a number of years, and then I was just like, everyone's on this payment processor. Like, okay, let's just do it. So, I've got Venmo, I've got PayPal, and so on the printouts that I did for my signage, I have my PayPal QR code on one side and my Venmo QR code on the other side so that I can flip it either way, depending. I also will accept cash. And then I do also have a Square reader as well. So the Square reader, it is for Tapp or insert chip. So I have the signage with both the QR codes, and then I also do have a Square reader for processing credit card payments. So there's that. And then I also have another sign that is just like my sign with my logo. And it says Tarot and Oracle readings. That's what it says. And then on the other side, I have my pricing, which is only just one price. I would implore you, if you're doing festival readings, one option alone. A confused mind rarely, if ever, buys. One option for festival readings. And then I also have my website on my signage saying for longer readings, go to my website. So Dina says, I decided to do body, mind, spirit readings and end with an oracle card. That could work too. I would time yourself though, because most of the time, like it's a flat. So either you're charging a flat rate and it is what it is, and whatever time, time you deem the reading is over, the reading is over. Now and also timers have a timer. You can even do it on your phone. But I have noticed that many readings are usually time-based. So I would say your body, mind, and spirit reading and end with an oracle card. Test it out. See roughly how long it takes you to do that. You may have to spend a little bit more time with some people, less time with other people, but that's the reason why I've said 15 minutes is a good increment of time, and it also helps me to manage out the sign-up list. So actually, let me grab my signage so that I can show you guys. Is this interesting? Is this helpful, first of all? And also, I'm looking at the time, so we do have to do the mid-episode reading. So let me go ahead and grab that signage and maybe do the mid-episode reading. And then we'll keep talking about festivals. But it is a lot of energy. So just know that it's a lot of energy. Make sure that you have good hydration. Make sure you know where the bathrooms are. And know at a festival, it might be a porta potty, and you're going to have to be okay with that. Like, I'm definitely thinking about this for tomorrow. Like, I have to be properly hydrated when doing these readings. I'll usually take lozenges as well because, I'll be using my voice a lot. But also, like, remember that, you are spirit in a body. So you're a spirit in your body, and you will have to heed the call of nature if you are properly hydrating yourself. So just remember that. You may want to take someone with you if they're willing to be your little assistant for the day. I don't have my regular assistant coming with me tomorrow. That would be Mr. Tarot by Hilary. So I'll have to see how that goes and see how that works out. But I am, again, doing this in conjunction with a bar and restaurant. So hopefully they'll be able to look after my stuff and be like, the tarot reader will be back in 15 minutes. She needed to heed the call of the spirits and also her bladder. Fran says, "Oh, I'm all in, and I'm just reading for myself." Okay, and Fran also says, "Take your own tea paper, toilet paper, and hand sanitizer." Yes, hand sanitizer. Yes, for definite. I have a nice bottle that I got at Office Max or Staples, I believe. So let me get that signage. Then we'll do the mid-episode reading, and then you guys can ask me more questions about festivals. I would say, if you want more of the nitty-gritty, go to the party readings episode. Should be on the Book of Face or the Tube of You after this episode if you want more information on doing readings at parties, because they are they are kind of interchangeable, but they're also two very separate entities. I also have book recommendations too. I'm going to just say them right now before I forget. Jenna Matlin's book, Have Tarot Will Travel, or Have Party Will Travel, something like that. It's Jenna Matlin's books, are specifically about festival readings. Highly, highly recommend, because it's not the same. And also, do you want to do festival readings? Like, that's the number one question you want to ask yourself first. Like, forget about the fact that I am doing a festival readings tomorrow. It's just like, ask yourself if you want to be that kind of reader, because there are some readers that don't do private parties, that don't do festival readings. They just do one-on-one because they didn't like the energy, you know, like. And I mean, I can understand that. Like, once upon a time, I used to be an introvert, and I would hate that kind of interaction. Now I think I'm more of an ambivert, or I can mask it pretty well. I will do what the situation warrants. I guess I'm a extrovert chameleon in that way. But you know, not every reader is going to want to do festival readings, and that's okay. That's okay. So that's the first question you got to ask yourself. Do you want to do festival readings? If you don't, that's cool. That doesn't make you any less of a reader. All right, let me get my signage. I will be right back. And Tracy is here, first time watching. Hello from UK. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome, Tracy. Welcome, welcome. We're talking about festival readings, and how to do them, and how to prepare for them, etc. So here's my signage that I had from before. So I didn't have to do anything, which was nice. So just my name, tarot and oracle readings, my logo, nice and big. And then my website at the bottom, tarotbyhilary.com. So here is my signage that I created for tomorrow. There you go. So you've got the name of the event, you've got the price and the length of time. I just put cash and credit accepted, and you can book a longer reading at tarotbyhilary.com. And then here's some new signage that I did. So there's my PayPal code QR, and there's my Venmo code. So make sure when you're doing signage, make sure that they know how to pay you. Make it easy to be paid. That is not just true of festival readings. That is true any service provider. Make it easy to pay you. Don't make it hard. Don't make them jump through hoops to be able to pay you. Otherwise, they won't. They will find another reader that might not be as good as you, but is just better at getting paid. All right. Make sure you charge things up. You know, if you have a square reader, make sure it's nice and charged, and test it out beforehand. Make sure it's all synced in to your phone, etc. Make sure you bring a power bank if necessary. I have a cute little one that I got from Multitasky that you can charge that up, and then it's a power bank for a portable power bank so that you can charge things up on the go. And yeah, what else? let's do the mid-episode reading, which is more like the 3/4, 3/4 through the episode reading. So mid-episode reading is one of the fixtures of this here live stream, in which you can win a free 1-card reading with me live on the broadcast. So let me go ahead and pull up the comment snake and the lottery jar and pick out the keyword, which I believe will be festival. Excellent question, Dina. Or is this your event? Is this your event we're talking about here? 2 to 3 hour event. I would say, how many people do you want to read for? And then chop down, take 2 hours, take 3 hours, and then chop it down into your anticipated head count. Because sometimes there are people, and this is true for private parties as well as public events, there are people that are going to want a reading with you, and then there are people that are going to absolutely avoid you and possibly do the sign. Sorry, speaking from personal experience. So, yeah. So, take that increment of time and then determine how many people you want to read for, and then break it down that way. So 20 people in 2 hours. How long would their reading be? 20 people in 3 hours. How long would their reading be? Etc. And Dina is also asking, what deck do you use? Excellent question. I will probably be bringing the Reflective Tarot, which is a mini deck. It's nice and small and pretty. I probably will also be bringing my Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith and possibly Mystic Dreamer. And then for Oracle decks, I will likely be bringing Work Your Light, Starseed Oracle, possibly the Visionary Tarot. I never really know which deck is going to hop into my party bag until the morning of. So I usually go with intuition, how I'm feeling. Okay, so let me put up the timer as well. So those of you who have been here before, please feel free to let the newer viewers know how the mid-episode reading works if they come in a little bit later. But basically what you're going to do is comment the word festival in the chat. That will put you into the lottery jar. And then from there, we will get a winner. And the winner will then put their question into the chat, and I will pull 3 cards for their question. And that is how the mid-episode reading works. But first, you need to comment festival. So, Tracy, welcome to the broadcast, Tracy, and you were the first person into the lottery jar for the mid-episode reading. I truly hope you win. If you don't, you can always come back next week, Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will do it all over again. And I'm going to hydrate while we're waiting for the counter to click down. So yeah, anyone can enter for the mid-episode reading. I can't remember who I read for last week. I think it might have been Dina. Was Dina the winner of the mid-episode reading last week? I think so. Don't remember. Sacred amnesia, folks. Sacred amnesia. And if you have more questions about festival readings, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. Just avoid using the word festival, unless, of course, you want to be entered into the mid-episode reading. You have 2 more minutes to do so. Otherwise, Tracy's getting the reading. That's another thing about festival readings. So I don't know the length of this particular festival. I think it might be 12 to 5. Could be wrong about that. I have set up my sign up sheets. Oh, that was another thing. I was going to grab that. Let me go ahead and grab the sign up sheets too, so you can see those. You've got another minute 15 to enter. Otherwise, Tracy's getting it. What a way to start the first episode of the live stream, Tracy. It looks like it's absolutely going to pour here. And I'm hoping it will, so that it gets out of its system for tomorrow. All right, 40 more seconds. So yeah, this is the sign-up sheet. So we've got the time slot, the name, and paid. So I will probably do check marks as I go through the list. So notice the increments are set up 15 minutes. So 12, 12:15, 12:30, 12:45. There you go. And then we move on to 3, 4, 5. And then just in case, I did this at the night market and worked out very well. That the final hour, I just put first come, first serve, the names on there. And if people are not showing up to their time, I just move on to the next person. Like, I really don't stress too much about it. Or, if they come back a little bit later, I'll just like, I'll write it down and be like, oh, this person here, this person here. So, all right. So get a winner. It's Tracy, because there's no competition. You guys are all so nice. We got a lot of regulars here who have gotten mid-episode readings before. So I think nobody commented festival. So that, Tracy, you had the opportunity to get the mid-episode reading for your first shot around. So congratulations to Tracy. And go ahead and put your question into the chat, and I will pull 3 cards from the tarot to answer your question or to give you further insight on the question. And while we're waiting for Tracy to put her question into the chat, Tina said, I decided to shuffle and let them cut in piles only, LOL. Yeah, I mean, that's your way to go about it, right? If that's how you want to do it, then that's how you want to do it, right? Fran said, that's a long time. What, for my festival? Yeah, I know. So, and Jenna does talk about that in Have Tarot Will Travel on festivals. And it's just like, it's not for the faint of heart, like some festivals can be all day events. And it's just like, you really have to know your limits and know your energy, and allow for, for pee breaks, for food breaks, for water breaks, like, and making sure that, you're taking care of yourself when you're doing this work, because it's a job and it can be hard, and it can be very much harder if you don't take care of yourself. All right. So Fran says, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And Tracy says, it's my daughter's angel anniversary today. Is she with her dad and watching over us? Now, Tracy, I don't normally do mediumship readings with the tarot, but for you, I will make an exception. I'm very sorry to hear that. Fran is saying big hugs to you, Tracy. And let me see which deck I'm feeling called to read from. It's not that I'm not comfortable doing mediumship readings, but at the same time, I would say I'm not a medium, but I'm medium adjacent. Oh, Tracy, I never win anything. Thank you all so much. Well, that streak is over, my friend. Let's do, I'm going to pull from the Work Your Lights at the end. So an oracle card for you, hon. And I'm also going to do, I believe, the Weiser Tarot. Okay. So, but there is a part of this in the asking of the question, you already have the answer. If you believe she's with her dad and watching over you and watching over your family, your friends, anyone that she loved and held dear in her life, then she is. You know, like, so. And actually, I'm just looking off into the distance and I'm seeing like these big, big, puffy white clouds and the blue sky behind them. There is going to be a storm. I can feel it. But like right now, all I can see is those white clouds and that blue sky. So like, I feel like that's a yes. Like even in the asking, the answer is yes. But it's not really a true reading. So let me pull 3 cards for you and an oracle card. And Kay is asking, hi, how do we get a reading new here? If one of the regulars can explain to Kay the mid-episode reading. Kay, I would love for you to come back next week and try again. Or you can always book a reading with me, tarotbyhilary.com. All right, Tracy. Okay. Well, the answer is yes. Obviously, the answer is yes. So you're getting the Page of Pentacles reversed, you're getting the 7 of Pentacles reversed, and you're getting the World card, which is that card of completion and closure. So let's see. So Page of Pentacles, to me, it's almost as if like the answer is yes. So that's the very simple answer. Is she with her dad and watching over us? Yes. But the Page of Pentacles reversed to me is that it's like she has been trying to make contact, especially in like physical ways. Like it could be a song that reminds you of her, or something that you sang together. And then also the 7 of Pentacles is coming up too. And so I feel like there has been some kind of efforts on her part in making sure that you are physically okay. Now it could be monetary or it could be signs like I know that there are some people that get dimes, like they find dimes like in the weirdest places, and that's a sign from spirit that that person is watching over them, or that person is like thinking of them, or you're thinking of them. So I would like, sometimes the tarot can be esoteric and ethereal, and sometimes it can be quite literal. So this combination of cards to me is just like, look out for dimes, look out for nickels, look out for quarters, look out for Sacagawea coins, or pounds or pence, you know, like whatever monetary coinage that you have, be on the lookout for that. And also know that like something's going on financially and she is helping out from the other side on that. Okay. And then you also have the World card coming up, which is a sense of closure and completion. That could be a sign about the angel anniversary. And it could also be finding ways, not necessarily to make sense of her passing, because that's never going to happen, you know? Like there's never going to be, it's never going to be okay. You know, it's just something that you've been able to manage or deal with. But like finding that sense of closure and peace around the circumstances of her passing, that's something that I feel like she wants for you too. It's the physical, it's the financial, and then also that sense of peace and that sense of closure coming up with the world. So that's what the tarot is saying as like the messages from. And I also want to pull the oracle card. And there, I also, it feels like with the pentacles coming up, there was something that you did in honor of, and she sees it and she thanks you for it. Hmm. So Tracy says, I was at the cemetery and we had a saying, "Where's the squirrel?" And as I was leaving, one was next to my car and would not move. Now, there is actually some decks in the tarot that do the happy squirrel card. Unfortunately, the Weiser tarot is not one of those decks, but I would have laughed out loud if that had happened. Just a final oracle card to bring together the reading. Wow. So you're getting the Starseed card, which is what lights you up. But look at that. If that's not a watching over you energy, I don't know what is. Now, that's not necessarily what the companion book says, but I am taking that to mean that yes, the watching over. Yeah, so this is also a card of like old souls. So it feels as if your daughter was an old soul. Um, Something that she came here to do or to create or contribute. And this is a confirmation that there's something more. They remain restless until they step into their calling, which is to light up the world with your unique presence. So that's your reading, Tracy. I hope it helps. But the short answer is yes, and the longer answer is the reading. And stop saying that you never win anything, because then you're just going to keep on not winning something. So this winning this reading is proof positive that you are capable of winning. I never win anything. Stop that. Stop that. Um, so Fran is saying about the mid-episode reading. You can enter win a mid-episode reading during each Friday's chat. Enter the magic word for that episode, and one person wins. Only one person wins each week. We ask if you have won in the last 2 or so readings that you were waiting and give others a chance. Thank you, Fran, for summing it up so succinctly. And Tracy says, thank you so much. You're very, very welcome, Tracy. And welcome to the Tarot by Hilary Live family. We are happy to have you, and we're glad that you discovered us today. And to Kay, come back again. Stay tuned, obviously, because we do have the weekend forecast coming up as well. So you're more than welcome. But there can be only one each week. You would not believe, and I mean, some of you were here for the original episodes where we would have like tons upon tons of people would ask for readings, and you know, sometimes the episode would be geared towards pulling one card for each question. But when I did that, there was never anyone here. So kind of defeats the purpose of the episode. And then when I'm teaching a topic, that's when everyone would be like, I need a free reading. I need a reading. Are you giving readings? And I'm just like, can't win. Can't win either way. So that is the reason why the mid-episode reading was concocted. Is, you know, there's still that opportunity for free reading, but also it's is more in alignment with the readings that I give, and also allowing for the opportunity for everyone to get a reading, and you know, making the space for it, especially when I'm doing a teaching live. You know, yeah. I mean, some of you have been here for a really long time. Some of you have been here from the very beginning when we first started doing the live stream, and I appreciate that. All right. So did I mention about the sign up sheet? I did mention about the sign up sheet. So it's there, it's ready to go. Um, making sure you are allowing people to pay you, make it easy for people to find you, make it easy for people to pay you. Bring your business cards. Hello. Um, that's another thing that I have to look for right now. I'm hoping that I have enough business cards to go around. Uh, let's see what else. Oh, have your crystals if you want. Okay, I'm going to preface this though. Um, have your crystals so that you can make your table look cool, but also don't take crystals that are very, very valuable to you. And know that you probably will have to cleanse those crystals when you get home, because people are just like that saying, like, look with your eyes, not with your hands. People don't, like, they look with their hands. Like, people are going to be feeling up your crystals on your table. So know that, like, don't bring the crystals that are really dear to you, but do bring the crystals that will help to ground you and focus you. If you're gonna bring crystals that are dear to you, make sure you keep them, like, put them in your pocket, not necessarily on the table. Um, I speak again. I speak from personal experience. There was this one piece that I really loved, and weirdly enough, it was I was doing festival readings on a Saturday, and it was the booth next to me, and she happened to um, pick up. I think it was a bowl that I had some of my crystals in, and she ended up dropping it, and it was a labradorite, and it was a labradorite, like, kind of wand shaped, and she dropped it on the ground, and it snapped in two, and just like, fuck. And she was so upset about it, and then just like I was upset too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, labradorite's my jam. Like, hello, labradorite. It's my jam. But I was just like, I do believe that sometimes things happen for a reason, and gems or crystals will take the hit for us, um, to protect us. So I don't know what hit the labradorite sacrificed itself for, and sometimes shit happens, and things get broken. So I ended up giving part of it to that person that broke it, um, and I have the rest of the labradorite I brought home. It's on my altar, but it's a lesson to people are going to touch your shit. They're going to touch your shit. Also, know what your rules are around your cards and handling the cards. Like, I would say, take a deck that you don't. I wouldn't say don't care about, because of course I love all of my decks. But make sure she sorry, make sure that you are bringing a deck that you might have a duplicate for. Um, you know, as you do party readings or festival readings more and more, you may want to invest in multiple versions of the same deck, so that, like, in case something happens, or bring like a plastic deck. So you can just wipe them off quickly if someone happens to spill water or beer or whatever on it. Like, I don't know if people are going to be walking around with beverages for this festival tomorrow, but I wouldn't count it out. So um, just, keep in mind you are in a public space, and with that comes public people doing public things. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. Uh, all right. Any other questions around festival readings? If not, we will do the weekend forecast. And I might not do work your light. I might do another deck. Actually, do you want to do, I kind of want to do the animal spirit. So, yes. Yes. Going back to card slingers, learn from card slingers that the world card is a portal. It is. You know, we were recording an episode today. So we record on Fridays for Card Slingers Coast to Coast. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, Card Slingers Coast to Coast is the podcast that I do with Melissa Sanova and Jamie Elford. We are three professional tarot readers from different parts of the United States. Jamie is on the West Coast in Portland. I'm on the East Coast in New York, and Melissa is central in St. Louis. So we did an entire series on the major arcana, and we wrapped that up, I guess, in March. And like, I still can't believe that, you know, we wrapped that up in March and now we're moving on to the minor arcana. But that is what Dina is referencing. The world card is a portal. That was episode something. Very specific, right? Episode something. Hold please. Because I was just looking at our episodes, and I'm slowly adding books to our bookshop of the episodes. Let's see. Hold on. Newest to oldest. There we go. Yep. Stepping Through Portals in the World. Episode 98 came out at the end of March. So we have moved on. So our latest episode that came out on the fourth Friday. So episodes come out every second and fourth Friday of the month. So our next episode is going to be episode 102, and it's going to be on one of the aces. I can't remember which ace we started with first, but we were just recording the episode that comes after the aces, because and I can't believe we went through all the aces. Like, this is what I was saying earlier. I was just like, wait, we don't have any aces left. We did all the aces, and they're just like, yep. And I'm just like, how did that happen? Like, I really thought that we had like another ace to go, and it turns out we've recorded all of the aces already, and also a wrap-up episode for the aces before we move on to the twos. So you're gonna get, I think we're gonna draw this out for a while, man. You're gonna get 5 episodes for the ones, the twos, the threes, the fours, the fives, the six. Yeah. So one in-depth episode per card, and then a 5th episode to wrap the ones, the twos, the threes. So, but I can't believe that we're already done with the aces and we're moving on to the twos. So good gravy. All right. Any more questions about festival readings before we move on? And I have another person commenting a question. I'm assuming to pull a tarot card for it. So not the space for that right now. But you can feel free to tune in again next week for the mid-episode reading, in which you can be entered in to win a free reading with me, or you can just book a reading with me at tarotbyhilary.com. All right, let's do the weekend forecast. I am feeling the Animal Spirit deck, Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck by Kim Kranz. I'm actually more feeling the Archetypes deck, but that is big and in my tarot cabinet, and I just don't have the capacity to go and grab it right now. So here's the Animal Spirit Guidebook. Here is the Animal Spirit deck. And this overhead lighting is not showing how iridescent and pretty it is. Oh, and by the way, guys, when I was looking for my signage, my sign placards that I put in the new signage for tomorrow's festival, I found my certificate of completion for my EFT tapping through the Gala-Darling method. Ah! It was funny, the other day I was doing tapping from High Vibe Honey, which is Gala's membership for tapping. And I try and attend live when I can. So this must have been a tapping that I attended live. But she was commenting on the different people that were coming up in the chat, and she was just like, "Oh, Hilary, Perry, Haggerty. I love when Hilary attends because like her name is such a banger. Hilary, Perry, Haggerty." I'm just like, "Thanks, Gala." Thank you. All right. Let's do the weekend forecast. What do we need to know for this weekend? Besides the astrology, by the way. Remember, the astrology is a little bit difficult this weekend. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you'll have to watch the replay at the top of the episode when we did the AstroViz Digest. So Dina is asking, how many hours is your festival? I think it's from 12 to 5. It could be longer than that. I know I'm going to be setting up there at 10:30. So I guess however long I can make it there, I think it's 12 to 5. So we'll see how that goes. All right. We have elephant. So let us grab the guidebook. And I'm trying not to be controversial right now, but there's stuff going on in the chat that is exactly the kind of crap that I was talking about before. So all right, so elephant, I believe, is a fire card. Could be earth, but let me see. Nope, it's a fire card. All right, so elephant from the Animal Spirit deck is unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured that the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. So when in balance, one-pointed focus, generous and loving. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. And to bring into balance, trust. So let's remember the elephant this weekend for our weekend forecast. And I will see you all next week. So and wish me luck. Wish me luck for the festival readings. And Dina, I wish you luck for your festival reading whenever it's coming up. Let us know when, and we will send good energy to you. And you're very welcome, Katie. You're very welcome, Dina. Very welcome to Fran and to Tracy. Welcome, welcome, welcome to new viewers. It's really, really appreciated. Again, we do this every Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so, so much for watching. Thank you. Oh, Nicosaurus, good luck. Thanks. Have a great time, and good luck to Dina as well. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So remember, we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you again next week, Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. And if you want to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. Thank you all so, so much, and see you next week. Bye. And now it's not letting me show my usual show and stream. What is going on here? What is happening? Hold on. All right, I'm gonna have to remove that and redo and wow, it's not letting me click on anything. Interesting. All right, let me refresh this and see if I can fix it. Be right back. Okay, try this again. Okay, what is going on? I guess we don't have an end intro. What is happening here? All right, let me see if I can try and end this. Bye. It's not letting me end the episode. Interesting. Let's see. I can't even click on settings. What is going on? We have a good episode and then it starts with this. I literally cannot click on anything here. Let me see. Right. Bye, everybody.